The question of the day is, was the Alamo German? We're walking through the Central Plaza of Gaylord Town.
Yeah, the town square.
The town square.
Of the Gaylord Resort.
And one of the buildings is shaped like sort of a fiberglass 1-to-1 scale Alamo. And I know that in Texas they really want you to remember the Alamo. And I remember, I fulfilled the brief. I remember that the Alamo existed, but I don't. Who did the Alamo? Were the guys inside the Alamo good or bad?
Were the people outside the Alamo trying to get the people in the Alamo to come out of the Alamo? Was the Confederacy involved?
That's our big question.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, there's no way to know.
Yeah.
So,
it's really sad.
History will never answer this mystery. It will remain one of history's mysteries.
Welcome to Text Me Back. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays. And I'm Lindy West. Welcome to our show. It's definitely me and Lindy, a real human woman. That's right, Megan. It's me, Lindy. This is what I sound like. Anyway, I just wanted to hop on and give a little introduction of what you're about to hear, since we might have some new listeners, who knows? And we didn't want to throw any new listeners into the deep end with one of our more deranged episodes. Normally, both myself, Megan, and Lindy would be doing this intro for you, and I probably fooled you with my Lindy impression. That's right, Megan. It was a killer impression of Lindy. But she's not really here. She's on an airplane. So I'm recording the intro myself. We just got back from beautiful Dallas, Texas, where we went to a podcast conference called Podcast Movement to spread the good word of Text Me Back podcast, the only podcast, and kind of like let people know that you don't need to make a podcast with a podcast company or like a media network. You can make it yourself, because the podcast networks only want to make podcasts with people who are already famous. And if you're not already famous, but you're funny and really cute, you should be able to have a podcast too. Why not? You know what I mean? So we went all the way to Texas, and you know what that means. We had to bust out the tiny influencer microphones and give you a little taste of what we got up to in Texas. So that's why the audio sounds like hot garbage. No, you know what it is? It's grass-rootsy. It's rustic audio. So we hope you enjoy. We know how much you loved it the last time we busted out the mics and Lindy experienced, I don't know, like a human rights violation on the Amtrak with their shrimp dinner that gave her food poisoning. But this travel diary has 0 food poisoning, but a lot of crying over something stupid, which is the Text Me Back guarantee. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy. If you're a new listener, check us out, patreon.com/textmebackpod. If you're an old listener, check us out, patreon.com/textmebackpod. Maybe if you like what you hear, subscribe to this little independent podcast that's not funded by Jeff Bezos. Give it a thought. I don't know. Think about it. Think about it, as Beyonce would say. All right. We'll be back next week on normal microphones. Lindy will be back from Denver. What will we talk about next? Probably something normal. Don't you agree? Love you. Mwah. Testing, testing, testing. All right. Here I am in beautiful Dulles. It's an airport. You know, people around here hate it for some reason, but I love Dulles. I'm on my way to Dallas to meet Lindy, and we're going to a podcast conference where we're going to teach other podcasters how to have a successful independent podcast. Now, is our podcast successful? You know, it depends on who you ask. It's not important. What's important is this. This podcast conference is taking place at a resort called the Gaylord Texan. The Gaylord Texan. The good thing about this resort is it's basically just a gigantic water park. So how many panels am I going to go to at this? Probably none. How many times am I going to go down the lazy river? How many times can one person go down the lazy river in a day? Because that's how many times I'm going to go down it. I'm just going to float all around the Gaylord. It feels good to be leaving DC. I don't know. It's like leaving one political nightmare for like a different kind in Texas. But I really hate it in DC right now. It's really scary. People are getting disappeared. I know it's happening everywhere. It's not just DC. But, they're arming the National Guard. They're flying helicopters over my house, like my neighborhood, my house every night, like not sleeping, because they're flying a fucking helicopter over my apartment every single night. Do I feel safe? No, I don't. I know I don't need to say this to you, my beautiful listeners. But I felt fine before. Now I feel a high-grade terror all day, every day. And I think what really sent me over the edge was, I don't really know how to articulate this, but as you know, I used to have a Vespa. Mine got totaled, but my husband still has his. So I still ride his around from time to time. There's been many times that I've been mistaken for like a DoorDasher. Usually it's like some other DoorDasher being like, where's this restaurant? And I'll be like, I don't know. Because he thinks that I'm like also delivering. Anyway, but the other day I saw this video of unmarked, some, I guess, ICE agents. They were masked in an unmarked Dodge Charger. They pulled a guy off of his scooter, because all these DoorDashers all ride these little 50cc scooters, just like I do. They pulled this guy off his scooter, and they basically like threw him into the street and threw him in the back of this Dodge Charger, and I don't know what happened to him after that. I recognized the street it happened on because I had been on that street that day on my scooter, and I guess it just really sent me into a tizzy because, one, obviously this shouldn't be happening to anyone, but what's to prevent these fucking mouth-breathing fucking idiots who think that DC is some sort of criminal cesspool from thinking I'm an undocumented DoorDasher, grabbing me off my scooter and throwing me onto the ground? Basically nothing. So it really sent me into a spiral. I feel like I need to get out of here. For some reason I thought, I should go to Texas. Nothing bad's happening in Texas, right? So that's where I'm going. Sorry that my travel diary is starting off on a devastating note, but I am genuinely very excited to see Lindy. We're meeting oft-discussed producer Allie in person for the very first time. So excited to go on the lazy river and excited to disassociate for as long as is humanly possible before they ship me back to the district and back under martial law. So hold out a thought for old MHM, if you don't mind. And I'll keep you posted about what's going on.
I'm at the SeaTac airport. I'm in the TSA pre-check line. The airport is under construction. The line is long. The man at the front of the line, the entrance to the line, said that checkpoints 1 and 3 are moving faster. I said, I'm not falling for that. I'm staying right here, baby. And I think maybe I was wrong.
I'm just waiting to board. Oh, and I am across from a Chick-fil-A. I don't actually feel very good. I feel kind of nauseous, but the Chick-fil-A smells really, really good. So we'll see. And then, of course, when you buy Chick-fil-A, you have to offset it with a donation to an LGBTQ charity. So might not be worth the steep cost at this hour. Okay, stay tuned. MHM out.
I'm standing outside at the rideshare app pickup zone at Dallas Fort Worth Airport, waiting for my ride, which will be here in 5 minutes, which is a shame because it is hot in the shade and the sweat is happening. Someone dropped their raccoon tail keychain thing, and I don't know what those signify, but I feel like it might be some sort of important identity signifier or like a spiritual weapon or a subculture accoutrement. And I feel like it might mean something to someone, and it's just fallen on the pavement here in Dallas Fort Worth Airport, and an old man just ran over it with his roller bag. I mean, maybe it just signifies that you love raccoons, which, same. Anyway, if you left that here, if you're missing one, it's at Ride App Zone 45. What do those mean? You know, people clip them to their bags, they put them on their pocket. Is it just they put them out the back of their pants so it looks like they have a tail? Is it just for fashion? For fun? Is it for being furry in your street clothes? But still, you still want people to know? Like, truly no judgment. I'm genuinely just curious. What does the clip-on raccoon tail mean, signify, you know, in this world?
It's like 30 bucks.
Oh boy, I'm hot. Hope you enjoyed this. Lindy out.
I have arrived at my hotel. I just am in such a foul mood, despite the fact that I've arrived at this hotel that is covered in water slides, ass deep in water slides, and yet the act of flying is such a nightmare. I hate it so much. It's like, it's an attack on my civil liberties. It's an attack on my humanity. You know? Listen, not to be all 90s hack comic, but what is the deal with the airlines? What is the deal with the airlines? I treated myself to like what I thought was some sort of economy plus. I was in like row 8. It's like 2 rows back from first class, right? I was like, well, that'll be nice. And I can get on the plane earlier, I thought. And I don't have to mess around with the gate checking of the bags, which happens constantly now. And you want to know why? Because they deregulated the airlines, folks. And now they can charge these exorbitant fees for checked bags, which means, you guessed it, nobody wants to check their bags, which means every single flight, the overhead compartments are full, which means 9 times out of 10, you're gate checking your goddamn suitcase, unless you're like one of the first 12 people on the fucking aircraft. By the way, when I worked on the Hill, I worked on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee for a while, and this very interesting thing I learned, not that I give a shit about TSA or their job satisfaction or anything like that, but because so many people try to bring their baggage on board instead of checking it, that is like what slows down the security lines, and none of the fees that airlines collect goes to support like more TSA agents. Like none of that money is like diverted to TSA to cover the cost of TSA agents to speed up the security lines or anything like that. But because there are baggage fees, nobody wants to check their bags, which means TSA has to check like 8 billion fucking bags for security, which slows down the security lines and makes everybody pissed off. Both the TSA agents, which again I do not care about, and travelers, which I do care about because I'm travelers. Anyway, so I just want to throw that out there. All of those checked bag fees, that's just shareholder value, baby. That's shareholder value. And at the end of the day, there's nothing on this green earth of gods more important than ensuring the shareholders
achieve maximum value on their investment. I think we can all agree. Anyways, so I'm like, I'll pay the little extra money. I'll get to board. Hopefully, on the earlier end of things, I can keep my bag by me, and blessedly, I'll be able to get off the plane pretty quickly too, because I'll be near the front. Right? No, wrong. I don't know what I paid extra for, but it was not anything. This was not economy plus of any variety. This was nothing. So I flew United, but this could be any airline. This is not even specifically like fuck United. It's just fuck all of them. Man, I get more and more radicalized toward the idea of nationalizing the airlines every single time I have to step foot in a fucking airport. Anyways, so the way United boards is not like, oh, you're in the front? Congrats. You're fancy and you've paid extra money. We will reward you by allowing you to board. No. The way that they board is some sort of like McKinsey consulting AI model psychotic fucking process where they board all the fancy people, like first class and, I don't know, United Gold Premier King Diamond Platinum Kings and Queens. Like all those people get to board. Then people traveling with children under 2. Active duty military. By the way, I saw a guy who was like probably in his 60s get up and go for active duty military. Now look, I don't really know anything about the military, but 60s? Active duty? None of my business. I don't care. We all got to do what we got to do to get onto the metal tube of despair to come to Dallas. Okay? So anyways, then you guys, they board everybody sitting in a window is group 3. Everybody sitting in the middle is group 4, and everyone sitting in the aisle is group 5. Last to board if you, like a normal person, like to sit on the aisle, so you're free to get up and pee whenever you wish. I was punished for being an aisle sitter, and so I had to board in the final group. You'll never guess what happened to my bag. Oh yeah, it got gate checked. It got fucking gate checked, dudes. I was so annoyed by this whole thing. I thought I was going to commit, not a crime, because I'm not trying to end up on the no-fly list. What I thought I was going to commit was a rant on my podcast, which is what I'm committing right now. I just was so annoyed and so pissed off. I was like, what was this extra money even for? And it's not even like Alaska, where you pay for like Economy Plus and they give you a free wine. It wasn't even that. So, actually, maybe fuck United. I don't know. Write in and let me know what airline you fly, and if every waking second you're on the airplane, you feel more and more oppressed by capitalism as a result of your decision to fly it. I'd love to know. Anyways, so they took my bag, and then to add insult to injury, I also have to make an admission. You know, I try. I do my best to be as pleasant as possible to our nation's service workers. And I strongly believe that flight attendants are God's strongest warriors, because they have to deal with a lot of shit, and they have to deal with it in the sky. So I go up there, and they're like, we have to check your bag. I say, okay. I guess they thought I was mad or something, because the lady was like, ma'am, we have to check your bag. You need to understand. And she goes on this whole monologue, I guess because she thought I was pissed off. I was, but all I said was, okay. That's all I said. And she goes on this whole monologue about why they have to check the bags. At this point, she's already tagged my bag. And she's like detained me to give me the rundown onto why they have to gate check like 30 bags. There were like 30 people that still had to get on the plane. And she's like, it's just that the plane is really small, so I just have to admit to some bad behavior. I interrupted her, and I said, I don't really care. And she goes, okay. And I said, okay. And then she let me go. I feel bad about it. It's not her fault that the CEO is a turd and that the shareholders are demons. That's not her fault. But I really don't need the Wikipedia page entitled, why we have to check your bag. I don't care. Just let me go. sooner I get on that plane, the sooner we can get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, then to add to insult to injury, they send me a text that's like, thanks for checking your bag with United. I was like, you're not fucking welcome. Don't talk to me again. But anyways, so now I'm in my room. Lindy, as far as I know, is still exiting Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Can't wait to find a slide, so we'll keep you posted about it. I'm going to try to get into a better mood. Okay, see you soon.
Do people not use rideshare apps here? I thought this was like a car culture place. It's now eaten my extra money that I paid to be picked up sooner for priority pickup. It's handed me off to Manuel, who is 9 minutes away. I paid an extra $4 to be picked up in 5 minutes instead of the standard that was going to come in 8 minutes, and now it's 9 minutes. And God knows where Manuel is coming from. I thought this was a car place. How come I'm the only person standing at this rideshare? Is there like a secret Texas rideshare that I don't know about? What's happening? It's so hot. I look insane. I wish you could see it. I wish you could see it. I wish you could see the bangs in this humidity. Just me and my friend, the raccoon tail. Should I move the raccoon tail into the shade? He's in the blazing sun. I feel bad. I have now imbued the raccoon tail with life, personality, feelings, and hot flashes. Our hotel is like 10 minutes from the airport, but for some reason the Uber ride is $35, which makes me feel like, is this not a service offered here? Could someone explain it to me? Why do you have a whole section for it at the airport if there aren't any cars? I would be happy to take a regular taxi if someone, but is there a sign for that? There's no sign. Ugh. Earlier when I was in the air conditioning, there was some woman complaining, and I was like, ugh. Hate those like complaining women who are always complaining, walking around complaining. Then I came outside in this heat, instantly a complaining woman, instantly transformed.
Okay, I've left the hotel. I'm walking to a Tex-Mex restaurant to meet Lindy. She's already there. It's hot as fuck shit here in Dallas, Texas. Like it's hot in DC, but this is like, vile, borderline unlivable, frankly. It's disgusting. I'm looking forward to having a lot of food at this restaurant. Probably going to get a margarita at this restaurant. But right now, it's like, I've never seen a pig so large, sweat-wise, as myself on this 0.3 mile walk to the Tex-Mex restaurant. By the time I get there, I'm going to be fucking drenched. So that'll be great for everyone to have a gander at. However, to be reunited with my beautiful friend will wash away the perspiration of shame and bring on the perspiration of love. Okay, well, I walked all the way around outside to get to this cantina where I'm meeting Lindy. I absolutely did not need to go outside at all. All of this is fully inside. And now I'm in a line. But I think she's in here somewhere. So I'm just going to walk around. I don't acknowledge the law of the Gaylord Texan. I spotted her. I found her. I'm walking towards Lindy. It's sort of like a fake outside, as Lindy called it. It's weirdly hot for inside, but that's okay. That's just two big women doing their best. Okay, diva down. I guess my tiny podcast mic has water in it or something, and so now it's not working. But here we are at Riverwalk Cantina inside the beautiful Gaylord Texan Hotel. Lindy and I are catching up on the verge of tears due to politics. Normal Text Me Back podcast stuff.
We ordered tacos and we ordered queso. Oh, this is really important for you guys to know. We also ordered loose corn, which we are sharing, and it's really good. I don't know. So I'm like on this journey with loose corn where like I haven't had a bad loose corn since I started the journey, which feels really important to me. So anyway, they bring us our tacos, which comes with a side of refried beans and like Mexican rice, right? Who doesn't love delicious seasoned Mexican rice? I gotta take a bite of this shit. Now, why is there a pea in my rice? Now, why is there a pea in there? I don't want to eat that. I'm not there yet with peas. Loose corn, yes. Peas, no, but also, why are peas a typical addition to Mexican rice? Lindy's making a face of like, I've never heard of that. And she don't know. She's doing like shruggy emoji at me.
We're in Texas.
She said we're in Texas.
They know better than us.
That's true, they do. And yet, she's going to have to watch me pick like 16 peas out of this rice. It's a bad day. Bad day for MHM. Also, Lindy almost choked on a loose corn. And we discussed it. Here's the deal. Lindy can't go out on a food-based incident. Mike Cernovich will never let me hear the end of it if she goes out on a food-based homicide. So prayers up that Lindy dies of natural causes or a plane crash. Yeah. Because that would also be very good for the podcast.
Better not be my fatty liver.
No.
Megan and I have arrived at the podcast movement area in the convention center at the Gaylord Texan. We're looking for the BBW check-in line. Excuse me. Where did the BBWs go?
Attention, excuse me, podcast conference organizers. I don't see the express BBW line.
We've got 2 BBWs who need BBW badges. Do we have a BBW concierge that's available to come assist?
Do you think this is going to be like the other podcast conference we went to where we do 3 episodes about it and the organizers reach out to be like, I listened to all 3 of your episodes about how stupid our conference was and I wish you would stop?
Well, it's actually not what they said. He reached out and he was like, would you come back to our conference? Which makes me feel like things are maybe grim in the industry. Anyway, we're in just the craziest building you've ever seen in your life. If I had to guess, I would say this was built yesterday. We're gonna get our frickin' badges and it's gonna rock.
There's some goodies.
Well, listeners, here I am again. The Gaylord Texan is a self-contained small town. There is simply no need to go outside for any reason whatsoever. You know what I mean? And it has I think Lindy got one of these rooms. It has interior balconies that overlook the small town that is the Gaylord Texan resort. My room has a view of a bright white moonscape of the roof. It's just the roof of the hotel. It's a blinding white, and that is my view. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with some what I would characterize as literally devastating news. I'm giggling and laughing, but I'm actually so sad about this. I don't even know what to say. Anyway, Lindy and I are excited about this conference. Sure, to spread the word of Text Me Back podcast, absolutely, and to encourage other people who want to make something to do it themselves and not make it with a big corporation. Because why should 8 white guys get to decide what is a good podcast or what is good entertainment. For example, I'm still furious that David Zaslav unilaterally decided not only to cancel Legendary, that ballroom competition show, but to remove it entirely from the platforms. Like, if you want to go back and watch the 2 seasons of Legendary, you can't, because he was like, no, nobody gets to watch this. And like, to me, why does some random stupid bitch named David Zaslav get to decide whether or not there's an audience for a ballroom competition show? He shouldn't. Anyway, same is true for podcasts. I think we can agree. That's the main reason why we came here, I guess. But if we're being honest, listeners, 99% of the reason we came to this conference is because the Gaylord Texan has a water park attached to the hotel. And Lindy and I were like, oh boy, it's gonna freaking rock to go to Grapevine, Texas, do our little rinky-dink little presentation, and then spend 100% of the rest of our time going down a water slide and floating down a lazy river. I don't know if you have ever floated down a lazy river, but literally, and I'm not even joking, this is not a joke. This is my actual closely held belief. There is no greater happiness on this planet than laying in an inner tube and letting the currents take you away. It's freaking beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's natural or artificial. It's the most incredible sensation in the world. And so I've been thinking about this water park for like 2 or 3 months, whenever it was that this conference accepted our pitch. You guys, I brought 2 bathing suits to this because I was like, if the bathing suit is still wet from Tuesday, I want to have a dry bathing suit for Wednesday. Like, I came freaking prepared because I'm trying to go on a zip line. I'm trying to go on a lazy river. I'm trying to slide down a slide. You know, whatever. I never get to, I'm 43. When am I going to a water slide? Where is there even a water slide? You know? I think you can see where I'm going with this. Okay, this is called foreshadowing. So earlier, we finally got to meet producer Allie in person. She's not 6'5", okay? She's like 5'6", but still a delightful individual. So exciting. So she's like, where's the water park? And I was like, I don't know. I haven't found it yet. We did find an outdoor swimming pool, which is lovely, but there's no slides or anything like that. So I was like, okay, well, you guys have a good evening. I'm going to go lay down and I'm going to try to figure out where the water park is. So I come up to my room, I lay down, and I open up my little freaking brochure for the Gaylord Texan. The water park is closed. It's closed until Friday. I depart from Texas on Thursday. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, I really need to impress upon you, I am not joking right now. I'm actually, I am like literally despondent. I texted my husband to be like, you're never gonna believe what happened to me. The water park is closed. And like, he's devastated on my behalf as well. I texted Lindy, obviously, to let her know. She tried to make me feel better by being like, oh, but yeah, water parks are full of kids and piss. And I was like, yeah, that's true. I don't know. She's like, did that help you feel better? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I guess. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna go to just the regular outdoor pool tomorrow, which is like not a bad consolation prize, because the reality is I haven't been in a pool all summer, so it will be nice to go in the pool. But boy, oh boy, did I want to go down a water slide, and boy, oh boy, did I want to just float. You know, everything is just so bad and difficult, and there was just something that seemed so pleasant about just sort of floating weightlessly through existence. You know?
My favorite thing about never ever actually being a BBW, but only being talent, is that I get to wear whatever stupid shit I want to the conference. I don't have to like wear a business girl suit or a dress or look professional, because my job is not to be professional. My job is to be myself. And so I'm wearing bike shorts and a sports bra and essentially hiking boots because they have my orthotics in them. Everyone else is wearing business clothes. Not me, baby. I'm talent.
Okay, I have just returned to the hotel room after the welcome party at this podcast conference. I don't know. I guess it was theoretically a networking thing. I don't really want to network with anyone, though. Do you know what I mean? I think there's probably a lot of people out in this earth who can help good old Text Me Back podcast. Text Me Back pod crap. Uh-oh. Freudian slip. Anyways, Text Me Back podcast. Great podcast, by the way. Should be more popular. I went on down to the welcome party. I knew that our beloved producer, Allie, would be down there. Her friend Jeanette was also down there. Jeanette is a perfect angel as well. Immediate besties with Jeanette, by the way. So I was like, well, I'm a little bit bored and I'm like depressed about the water park situation. So I'm going to head on down there and glom onto Allie and Jeanette. So I went down there and it was really fun. I was forcibly networked with, but mostly had a lovely time with Allie and Jeanette. Lindy did not come because Lindy was working on the edits for the episode with Kelsey McKinney that you listened to last week. So she stayed in her room. And also, podcast conference networking, does that really sound like something that Lindy would want to do? The answer is no. But I texted her because I got down there and I was like, dude, no pressure, but they do have an ice cream bar where you can like make your own ice cream sundae. And she was like, take a pic. And I was like, oh, absolutely, I will. So I went and took a picture and I was kind of like standing by myself. Here's my problem as a human being. If I'm upset about something, I become hyperfixated on that thing. And as you know, I am devastated beyond repair about this water park closure situation. So I'm running around at this networking welcome party, just informing everyone I can find that the water park is closed. And I'm thinking nobody's really going to care. I'm thinking everyone's going to think, okay, weirdo, like, we're not here to go to the water park. In fact, the opposite, listener, dude, everyone I talked to at this party was despondent when they discovered that the water park was closed. Because you know how they found out the water park was closed? From me at the networking event. That's how they found out the water park was closed. Multiple people came to this event thinking that they were going to laze down a river. Oh, no, ho, ho, ho. They're not doing that. And I was the one who had to break the news. I met one woman who flew in from Denver, right? And she's like, yeah, my mom lives in Oklahoma. So I was like, Mom, you should drive down from Oklahoma and meet up with me at the Gaylord. And if you need something to do, you can just go to the water park. And I was like, well, have you heard the news? The freaking water park is closed, Brody. And she was like, are you joking me? And I said, why would I joke about a water park being closed when literally the only reason I came to this event is because I thought there was a zip line involved. She was devastated. Her mom drove from Oklahoma to Grapevine, Texas to go to this water park. It is not even open, dog. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to tell her. I have to go back to my room and tell my mother that the water park is closed. I don't know how I'm going to break the news. And I was like, I don't envy you, Holmes. I really don't. I really don't. Anyways, I think I radicalized like 20 people at this networking event. I suspect that we could get a little organizing effort going here. I think we might be able to lobby the front desk. Give us the lazy river 1 hour on Wednesday. How much could that possibly cost to open up the water park for an hour? Okay, on Wednesday, let like 40 depressed adults with podcasts laze down it. What does that cost? $500? I'll pay you $500 right now. That's nothing to me. I mean, it's obviously something to me. Anyways, I think there's going to be a mutiny. I think there's going to be a podcaster mutiny. By the way, also happening at this hotel is a RV convention. Okay. So I feel like if we join forces with the RV people, there's a very good chance we could get this water park open, by Wednesday. Oh, who closes a water park in the middle of an RV/podcast convention? What's wrong with you? What I've discovered is that the only reason anyone came to this podcast convention is because they thought there was a goddamn water slide. Okay, so Gaylord Texan Resort, if you're listening, bro, this is messy. Who closes a water park before fucking Labor Day, man? This is not what Nicola and Bart fought for, okay? This is not what the labor movement was about. Man, it was about water parks. It was about water parks and making sure that they're open when you come to a podcast conference. That's why people fought and died for the 40-hour work week, no? That's why Joan Baez wrote that song? Did Joan Baez write that song about Sacco and Vanzetti? I don't know. I know she sang it. I don't know if she wrote it. Anyways, here's the situation. We're so close. We just have to get the nation's podcasters and their producers and their data companies to focus up, petition the government. And by government, I do mean the general manager of the Gaylord Texan. Okay. I might start driving phone calls to the relevant congressional offices. Okay. John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, if you're listening, you fucking toads, better open up that goddamn water park, brodies. Okay, because life is hard. And everyone at that networking event wants to float down a river. And that's what America is about. That's what we fought for. That's what the Revolutionary War was about.
It's day one at the conference, or maybe day 1.5 because we got here yesterday. I have taken a shower. I've gotten dressed. I'm a little bit worried that Megan is mad at me because I slept until 11 o'clock. To be fair, that's only 9 o'clock where I live. And I stayed up late working on the podcast. Anyway, I'm having a little bit of an incident right now. I'm sorry for the TMI, but I figured I started it already. I started a tradition with the train diarrhea. So I'm going to tell you my new TMI, which is that I would have signed a sworn affidavit. Is that what you sign? That you swore it's true? I would have put my hand on the Bible. I would have put my hand on a copy of Terry Pratchett's complete works and sworn that I put in a new tampon last night before bed. I would have sworn upon my father's grave. And then this morning, tampon question mark? Something to think about. Where'd she go? Was she ever really there? Did I make the whole thing up? What do I do? Don't answer that. I'll figure it out. Please don't talk to me about this. I do have an irrational fear of, or no, I have probably a rational fear. Whoa, I just had a vertigo spell, like a dizzy spell just then when I was about to say I have a rational fear of toxic shock left over from when they teach you about it. And that's a real thing. Anyway, I'll keep you posted, or I won't. I might not, but wish me luck with the mystery of a lifetime. I am sitting in a dark room because I'm about to leave my hotel room and go and find Megan on the floor of the podcast convention, so she stops being mad at me. So I think something about sitting in the dark, staring at my bright phone caused my equilibrium to flip for a second. I think it's fine. I don't think that's a toxic shock symptom, and I don't think you get toxic shock this fast. And I think I'm probably just having a false memory about the tampon in the first place. But, it just adds to the many, many adventures we're having here at Gaylord Texan. Lindy out.
All right, I ventured out of my room. I meant to wake up at 9 a.m. to go see the podcast talk. And then I simply just never got out of bed. Sort of like my ancient lazy DNA really kicked in a severe way this morning. But anyway, I moseyed on down to what they're calling the Texas Ballroom because there was some other chit-chat happening at 11:15 about the state of the podcast industry. And I was late to that too, whatever. And I'm thinking, I wonder what room it's in. Listen, there's no room. It's one big room. Everything is in one enormous ballroom, the Texas Ballroom. There are 8 different stages all in the same room. And the way that you can hear what anyone is saying is you have to wear these special and incredibly fucking dorky headphones and program them to the correct channel, and then you can hear what people are saying. So basically you have to walk around looking like the biggest fucking loser in the world. I mean, it's bad enough to have to wear, a badge at a conference. I feel like there's nothing nerdier on planet Earth than wearing a badge and being like, I'm an attendee of a conference. Whoa. Anyway, again, this is nothing personal to the conference. It's just conferences in general are, I think, humiliating. Anyway, so then I was like, I'm going to stick around because there's this show called Tony and Ryan, and it's very popular, and it's hosted by 2 Australians, the titular Tony and Ryan, respectively. Anyway, so I don't know, is there drama? Because only Ryan is here. Where's Tony? Did she miss her flight? Was there issues at customs? Did she try to sneak in Australian fruit into the Americas? I didn't hear the beginning of the talk, so they probably addressed it and I missed it. But I think we should speculate wildly on what's going on here.
Do you guys think I should tell Megan about my tampon problem? I think she wouldn't like it. I think she wouldn't like to hear about it. Hey, here's a complaint I have. Hotel vending machines. When they have a vending machine on the floor of your hotel, on your actual floor, it's always only drinks. You think that's the vending machine I want? I want the frickin' snack vending machine. Also, why do I have to choose? Can we put both in the same one? You think I don't want my snacks refrigerated? Oh my God. Of course I want some refrigerated snacks. I wish you guys could see this place. It's so insane. It's the most insane dystopian place. It's like a zoo without the animals. We are the animals. Everything is a fake rock sort of. First of all, The building that I'm staying in is made to look like the fake Alamo. I live inside a fake Alamo in the middle of a human zoo that's also like Disneyland. Like, it has a whole fake town with like shopping and like 100 restaurants, but it's all Texas themed. Anyway, but please, can we please get snack vending machines on the floor of the hotel where the rooms are next to the ice machine? I'm so fucking sick of seeing a sign that says ice and vending. I get all excited that I'm gonna be able to get some Little Debbie's Nutty Bars, and then it's just a fucking Pepsi machine. Jesus fucking Christ. Do better.
Now I'm in a corner. I'm so annoyed. Oh, yeah. By the way, I was like listening to the keynote talk about the state of the podcast industry. And the guy was like, oh, here comes Lindy. The fucking guy was like, oh, well, next year we're moving the Podcast Movement Festival, a conference, whatever the hell, to New York City, baby. And then he made some joke about how they're going to turn the Hudson River into the largest lazy river in the world. And I was like, don't fucking joke about the lazy river. It's not fucking funny. The water park is closed, dude. Don't joke about that stuff. Anyway, Lindy's here now. And we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm such a bad mood about the water park still. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I'm feeling great. I just want to hang out with my friend Megs, and I think that we should, to cleanse ourselves of water park hate, we should go in the pool.
We did locate the outdoor pool. It's perfectly lovely. Is there a slide? No, bitch. There's not. That's okay. This conference does have free chips. I had some free potato chips.
Ooh.
And we use this platform called Riverside to record our show. And every time you log on to Riverside, this very jovial looking man pops up on your screen. He looks so happy. And so I really never considered the possibility that he was a real human man. I walked into this room and there he was, there in the flesh, the Riverside guy. And I was like, oh my God, it was like seeing a celebrity. I was like, oh my God, Riverside guy. So it was really exciting.
He pops up and he says things like, did you know you could generate your own captions automatically?
Yeah.
Like, he gives you tips.
Yeah, he's a tips man. And he's maybe the CEO of Riverside for all I know. I don't know what he does. But also, I'm just going to go ahead and burn a bridge. Not that Riverside was ever going to like collab with Text Me Back podcast, but Riverside, oh, there's truly nothing Riverside wants more than for you to use their AI tools.
Oh,
and sometimes they'll do AI generated. I should go back and try to find some of the worst. But they do these AI generated photos that you can use as like the thumbnails for your YouTube video. Not a one time have they selected a flattering photo of either of us. One time they turned us both into babies and they were like, use this pic of you guys as artificially intelligent babies on your YouTube channel. And I was like, now what is this? That the best thing that they do is they, by best I mean most grim, but you can use their AI tool to generate, like write your show notes for you, which by the way, Lindy and I do not write, but angel producer Allie writes, and that's why they're good, because a human being wrote them and she's funny. By contrast, Riverside's AI show notes are literally, it's Lindy and Meagan discuss the ups and downs of life while also wondering how Barry's eye is doing. And then the recommended title of the show is Barry's Health Journey. Now, why would it be Barry's Health Journey? We talk about his eyeball for 5 minutes out of the show, and they're like, yes, let's pull this out. Let's make sure Barry's health journey is top of listeners' minds. Anyways, okay, let's go see. Maybe we can find some free candy at some of the booths. I think that'll be good. Okay.
Okay, the question of the day is, was the Alamo German? We're walking through the Central Plaza of Gaylord Town.
You know, the town square.
The town square.
Of the Gaylord Resort.
And one of the buildings is shaped like sort of a fiberglass 1-to-1 scale Alamo. And I know that in Texas they really want you to remember the Alamo. And I remember, I fulfilled the brief. I remember that the Alamo existed, but I don't. Who did the Alamo? Were the guys inside the Alamo good or bad?
Were the people outside the Alamo trying to get the people in the Alamo to come out of the Alamo? Was the Confederacy involved?
That's our big question.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, there's no way to know.
Yeah.
So,
It's really sad.
history will never answer this mystery. It will remain one of history's mysteries. Well, Megan, I have to tell you something that's happening that I debated telling you.
Is it gross?
Maybe? Yeah. Megan asked, is it gross? I don't know. It's hard to say. Last night, before bed, I swear to God, Megan, I would have sworn on a Bible. I would have sworn on the podcast itself.
On the life of my child, Text Me Back podcast.
That last night before I went to bed, I inserted a new tampon.
Oh
no. This morning, she's nowhere to be found. This has never happened to me before in 43 years. What's your take?
You think it might be in there still?
It's either in there still and it's hiding, or I never did it and I just thought that I did.
And there's no evidence to suggest disaster. Having not put one in.
There was no disaster.
I think you just didn't put it in.
I think I just didn't put it in. Okay, thanks. I'm glad we figured this out. I told the Text Me Back lights I wasn't going to tell you about it.
Yeah, it's nasty. So
see, I told you she wouldn't like it.
I know we're not supposed to stigmatize. Or here's a thought: why don't we stigmatize more stuff? Like, how about everything that happens should be stigmatized because it's all weird and gross?
Here's what I think: everything should be stigmatized. That's true freedom. Yeah. Because then, if everything's stigmatized, nothing's stigmatized. But then we have to start again. But I wanted to say, I do think that there isn't enough recognition in society that periods are wrong.
Yeah.
That they're disgusting.
They're shameful even.
They're not right.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have to have them. And what I'm saying is that those of us who have periods deserve more sympathy, care, and special privileges and benefits.
And compensation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So get on it, people.
On this floor to test the smoke detector. Please be prepared to allow a fire inspector to access each individual guest room on this floor to test the smoke detector. Thank you.
What was that? It just started the intercom just started speaking to me to tell me that they're going to start testing the fucking fire alarm just on my floor, apparently. Or I don't know. Maybe it's on more than one floor. And that I have to let the fire inspector into my room to test the smoke alarm. Why? If you're going to do that, open the fucking water park.
I am walking now through the stunning Gaylord Texan over to Lindy's room. We had a nice day. We went to a couple of different panels and we chatted a little bit about our just insanely successful podcast. And then we went to the pool. Lindy and I did, just as like a little consolation prize. Anyway, we met a really nice British man in the pool. His name was Harry, and he's from a place called Basildon in England. And I was like, of course, England has some fucking town named Basildon. It's Basel all the way down over there. You know what I mean? Anyway, it was very nice. He was talking a little bit about how he was nervous about coming to the United States. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm nervous about coming to the United States. And I live here, so, you know. Anyways, last week I bought him a pina colada and then told him to please tell all of England that America's very nice. And most of us hate Donald Trump. I don't know if he's going to do it. It's not like he's like the BBC or something, so I don't know why I said that. Anyway, walking over to Lindy's because we're going to go to a party, a podcast party at some sort of pickleball establishment. Obviously, I will not be playing pickleball, but I will be drinking a beverage, so I'm looking forward to that. However, this did mean I needed to rally and put my makeup back on, which I had removed for the pool, and then, of course, immediately passed out in my bed. But I'm awake. I'm ready, ready to network with my fellow podcasting professionals, and I'm looking forward to it. See you then.
Huge news. I found the tampon. I was right. I'm not crazy. I was right. I found the tampon. Whew. All right. It was where I thought it was. I found the string. Well, I located the string. I gave the string a few hours to come out of hiding, and then lo and behold, it did. And then I found the string, and now I don't have toxic shock. Thank you. Okay, here we are. We're on the shuttle bus to the Chicken Pickle Party, which is some sort of chicken restaurant that has an internal pickleball arena. We're on a bus full of podcasters. If this bus crashes, say goodbye.
The bottom 500 podcast.
We've signed the pickleball waiver, which says that we release Chicken Pickle from all responsibility if we die in a pickleball accident. It says, I agree to this. I have read this waiver and I agree to be bound by its terms. And you know what? I signed it, but you know what else? I didn't read it. I agreed to be bound by its terms, sight unseen.
Who knows what these degenerates are going to make us do the second we step foot in Chicken Pickle?
I want you to know that we're sitting right now, Megan and I are in the very back of a luxury coach, full-size bus, packed with podcasting professionals. We're going to a party. The bus has neon blue lighting. It's sort of a party bus, except it doesn't have poles. It's 8:40 p.m. Not 10 minutes ago, we were both lying down on hotel beds watching Forensic Files, and now I've put on lipstick, I've put on mascara.
You're wearing a dress?
I'm wearing a dress. I'm wearing a sort of a heeled clog, and we are going to a party hosted by iHeartRadio, whom we plan to eviscerate at our panel on Thursday about how we don't need no stinking companies. If this
Get ready, sweetie.
If this party doesn't have a spicy chicken sandwich with a pickle on it, as is implied by the name, then you know what, Megs? From that day forward, I no longer heart radio.
I named them enemy. He said, don't challenge me to a pickleball competition. I was like, do you know me at all?
No danger of that.
Till you see the sunlight.
You want to move so that we're being hit by the mister? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. No. Do you want to go outside and find Allie? I don't.
She said she's gonna come out.
But the party don't stop now. Wah, 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 oh.
I'm back in bed. It's been a wonderful 24 hours here at the stunning Gaylord Texan Resort. So yesterday, Lindy and I went to the just a regular outdoor pool that they have here. It was nice. It had like a little water feature, and they had a bar nearby. So I, of course, got a pina colada. It was lovely. And we met a new friend. His name is Harry, and he's British. I think I did record something about this yesterday. Anyway, I just want to say one thing about Harry, which was that I felt very cared for in this moment by my new friend Harry and my old friend Lindy. I went to the bar to get us drinks. I bought Harry a drink. It was
It was a cocktail of diplomacy. And I came back to the pool and Lindy's like, Meagan, Harry says he went to the water park and it sucked. And I was like, really? And he was... And he was like, yeah, it really sucked. Then he went on to explain it. And when he explained how much it sucked, it sounded like it rocked, actually. Where he kind of was like, yeah, it really sucked. It was like, they had like a zip line and a water slide and the lazy river, which was cool. Actually, the lazy river was really cool. And I was like, Harry, it sounds amazing. And then he was like, yeah, I guess it was kind of cool. I mean, but there's like a lot of kids. I was like, there's a lot of kids in this pool and there's no slide. Anyway, but what I will say is this. I felt very cared for and very loved that my two best friends, Lindy and Harry from England, went out of their way to try to make me feel better about the fact that the water park was closed. So I thank them. I thank them for that. Then last night we went to a pickleball restaurant called Chicken and Pickle. And here, I just want to say a couple things about this. I don't know what the plan was, by the way, where like we were all just going to play pickleball, like all the podcasters were going to get together and play pickleball in 100-degree Texas summer heat. Some people did, and some people brought like legit like pickleball outfits. Like a woman was wearing a tennis dress, and I was like, oh wow, she like really packed to like play pickleball at this party. This restaurant though had incredible chicken tenders, breaded perfectly, like a thin crust, not too greasy. The chicken was really juicy on the inside. It was so good. And then we just sat around with our friends. I did get drenched in my own sweat, but there's really nothing that can be done about it, you know? It just is what it is. So we came back to the hotel. I passed out immediately. This morning, we headed on down to Trusty Dusty Riverwalk Cantina. That was the only place that had breakfast that was open. And I was like, oh, they have chilaquiles. That looks really good. I got my chilaquiles. And there was no meat in it at all. And I guess that maybe I just assumed there was chicken in it, because isn't it always like chicken chilaquiles? I feel like we were always saying this. When we talk about chilaquiles, what do we talk about when we talk about chilaquiles? Are we not talking about chicken being in there? Because I thought for sure that's what we were talking about. Anyways, there was no meat in there. I take a bite of these bad boys, and the spice level was all the way to the moon's butt and back. Dude, it was so spicy. And with that said, I am a huge spice baby. I'm a baby spice, if you will. I really don't care for spicy food because I find it incredibly unpleasant. Incredibly unpleasant mouth feel. I really don't like it. Although I have been building up my spice tolerance over my adult life because I'm a recovering picky food eater. So I thought at first maybe I was just being a baby because, like, why would a hotel that primarily caters to, like, white Texans sell something spicy? Maybe I'm racially profiling white people. Maybe I'm stereotyping white people, but isn't the common stereotype about white people that they don't like spicy food? It's certainly the whitest thing about me, I think. And it was so hot. Like, I couldn't finish. I had like 3 bites of it and I couldn't finish because it was inedibly spicy. Believe it or not, I think Lindy has a higher spice tolerance than I do. And she's like, well, let me try a bite of it. And it blasted her ass to the moon as well. We were both suffering. So I was like, okay, well, at least it's not just me. Like, what is in this? Sorry, I'm cracking myself up because I sound so stupid. I sound like a sentient Google review. I'm like, why would the hotel sell something so spicy? Anyway, but why would they though? At the very least, why you not put on the menu that it's the spiciest shit you'll ever eat in your life? Maybe they did, and I just didn't notice. I don't know. Now I feel like I have to go look up the menu online to see how wrong I was. Anyway, no offense, but if you're at the Gaylord Texan and they offer you breakfast chilaquiles and you're a huge baby who can like barely handle a singular jalapeno, do not get the chilaquiles, Brodies. Don't do that.
Okay, so we're sitting here in the hotel room at the Gaylord. That's not the joke. At the Gaylord Texan, which is the name of our hotel. And by the way, have you already made a recording about how we came here for the water park and it's closed?
Oh, have I made a recording about how the water park is closed? I wonder if I've made a recording about how the goddamn water park is closed.
So since the water park is closed, we've just been sitting in the hotel room watching forensic files that we've already seen. Earlier, I went down to the marketplace, which is like a little grocery store. It's like a little... They sell snacks. And I was like, I want a snack. So I went down there and they had combos. They had 3 different flavors of combos, actually. And I was like, I haven't had a combo since the 90s. What is a combo?
I haven't had a combo.
And so I bought a bag of combos. Now, this is the wrong context to do this experiment because at the Gaylord marketplace, a bag of combos was like $8. But nevertheless, I persisted. I bought the combos. And so they're sitting on the table. I was just whining to Megan about how I'm hungry because our dinner reservation isn't for an hour. And Megan was like, why don't you eat your combos? And she said it with derision. And
I said, why don't you eat your combo snacks? And then you tried to explain combos to me, and it was the most unsettling description of a snack I've ever heard.
And then I said, well, I bought them as an experiment. I don't even remember what combos are like. And then I said, I think they're wet inside. I think it's a pretzel stuffed with some sort of paste.
The only way out is through, Lindy, so you're gonna have to eat a combo
I'm
snack.
gonna eat a combo snack. Oh boy, my back hurts. Okay, so I bought, it says combos, stuffed snacks, buffalo blue cheese.
Oh my God, of all of the combos.
I know. The other option was pizza, or then there was just like regular cheddar, I think.
Oh, I would have gotten pizza.
I should have gotten pizza.
Well, it's too late now.
It's too late now. I'm broke after buying these combos.
I've been bankrupted by the Combos Corporation.
Okay, there's a combo. Wow, it really is stuffed to the brim. Oh.
Is it wet? Let me try one.
It's not wet, but it's not dry. It also has way less flavor than I expected. It really tastes like a pretzel.
It definitely doesn't taste like buffalo blue cheese, but it's not bad.
Not bad at all. Will I combo again? No.
Stay tuned.
No. This is my first and last adult combos experience.
Oh, the aftertaste ended up being...
Well, it has like a spicy, that's why I'm coughing.
Yeah.
It has like a spicy, a spicy punishment. After the credits roll, it has a post-credits spiciness without the delicious flavor of a buffalo wing, just the throat attack of a buffalo wing. So, anyway, back to Forensic Files. Bye.
Lindy and I had kind of a plan to go on a little excursion into Dallas proper, because technically the hotel is in Grapevine, Texas. She is potentially interested in buying some cowboy boots, but we looked at a pair of cowboy boots that are for sale in the gift shop at the hotel, and the cowboy boots kind of seem like a foot prison and potentially a calf prison as well, and they take forever to break in. So we were like, oh, I don't know, maybe not. So we'll see. We're having a little lie down, and then we'll see what happens. And then, of course, we are going to give our presentation. I believe it's going to change the entire industry of podcasting. And yeah, they're going to shut down all the podcasting companies, and then they're only going to make best friend podcasts for the rest of time. All right, over and out.
back in Seattle. I forgot to record anything on the journey home, but it was uneventful. I sat next to a college child who loved football, and he watched a documentary about the Dallas Cowboys for the entire trip. And I played Stardew Valley, and I also took a nap. So I don't know, not very interesting. I miss Megan already. I was just standing here waiting for my bag, and I had this thought that I understand how people embezzle. Because I was thinking, if I had like a debit card that was tied to the podcast and I got it mixed up with my regular debit card, I'm the kind of person who will just like swipe it and swipe it and swipe it until it stops working. You know what I mean? What if I accidentally did that with the podcast debit card? I used all the podcast money and then I didn't have the money to pay it back because I just thought that was the money that I had in my account. You know what I mean? Something to think about. Maybe we shouldn't condemn people who embezzle because maybe they're just stupid. Luckily, I don't have a podcast debit card because Megan knows. I would never embezzle deliberately, and that's the Lindy West guarantee. All right, this was a fun excursion. Thanks for taking the journey with us.